Welcome to Top 10 World Knowledge. From missed opportunities to neglected relationships, these insights offer valuable lessons for living a fulfilling life. Whether you're young or seasoned, understanding these regrets can help shape your priorities and choices. Join us as we explore these poignant reflections and gain wisdom from the experiences of others. Let's dive in and uncover what truly matters in the end. Today, we will talk about top 10 biggest regret people have later in life. So before we get started, make sure to hit the like button. Also subscribe to my channel. 1. Living the life that my parents wanted me to live instead of the one I wanted to. Related to that lack of confidence, a lot of us get sucked into living the life that we think a good son or daughter should live. Whether because we're explicitly told or just because we unconsciously adopt it, we make key life choices about where to go to school, what to study, and where to work because we think it's what will make our parents happy. Our happiness is derived through their happiness, or so we think. It's only later, 10 or 20 years on, where we discover that friends around us are dying and we're not really doing what we want to do. A panic can start to set in. Whose life am I living anyway? 2. Applying for that dream job I always wanted. Maybe we didn't apply for that job we always wanted to because of a child, or because our spouse didn't want to move cities. It might not have been the perfect job for us, but we always regret not trying out for it. Do you think Katie Couric regrets giving the nightly news gig a shot? No way. Sometimes you swing and you miss, but you have no regrets later on. Everyone doesn't think of their health until there's a problem. And at that point, we promise ourselves if we get better, we'll do a better job with our health. It shouldn't take a major calamity to get us to prioritize our health and diet. Small habits every day make a big difference here over time. 3. Being happier more, not taking life so seriously. Seems strange to say, but most of us don't know how to have fun. We're way too serious. We don't find the humor in life. We don't joke around. We don't think we're funny, so we go through life very serious. I remember at an old Dale Carnegie class I attended, they told us more people were afraid of public speaking than dying. They'd rather die than give a speech, apparently. Yet, when you're close to death, you're probably going to wish you'd gotten over those fears on at least a few occasions, but especially at a loved one's funeral or some important event like a wedding. I said I'd come soon. A month later, it was clear he had days to live. I rushed to the hospital and did get to visit at his bedside before he passed. But he was a different guy from the one I'd spoken to only a month earlier on the phone. He was just hanging on. We hadn't been best friends and we hadn't seen much of each other since high school, but I know I'll always regret not going to visit him earlier when I'd had the chance. What I'd give to have one last regular chat with him. We miss out on half, or maybe all, the fun in life that way. Do something a little silly today. Crack a joke with the bus driver, even if he ends up looking at you weird. Do a little dance. You'll probably smile on the inside if not the outside. Now keep doing that, day after day. 4. Gone on more trips with the family/friends. Most folks stay close to home. They don't travel all that much, yet big trips with friends and family, to Disney World, to Paris, or even to the lake, are the stuff that memories are made of later in life. We're all thrown into some new unfamiliar situation together. We've got to figure it out as a group, and it's fun, even when it rains. We really remember trips. When we get so busy at work, we comfort ourselves knowing that we're going to stay late at the office again with the idea that we'll make it up by taking our son to a ball game on the weekend. As long as I spend some quality time with him, we think it will all balance out. It probably won't. There are lots of busy executives who take control of their schedules in order to either be at home for dinners more or be at those special school events with the kids. Kids do remember that. 5. Letting my marriage break down. Back to romance now. More people will divorce than stay together. If you ask these folks, they'll tell you that it was for the best. They couldn't take it anymore. And of course, there are some marriages that shouldn't go on, and where divorce is the best for all parties involved. However, if you talk to many people privately, they'll tell you they regret their marriage breaking up. It's never just one thing that ends a marriage. Even if that one thing is infidelity, there are usually lots of signs and problems leading up to that. The regrets most of us have is that we didn't correct some or most of those little things along the way. We can't control our spouse, but we can control our actions, and we know, deep down, we could have done more. 6. Taught my kids to do stuff more. Kids love their parents, but they love doing stuff with their parents even more. And it doesn't have to be a vacation at the Four Seasons. It could be raking leaves, learning how to throw a football, or cleaning up a playroom together. We learned all the little habits that we take for granted in our own behavior from mimicking our parents. If we're not making the time to do stuff with our kids, we're robbing them of the chance to mimic us. 7. Burying the hatchet with a family member or old friend. I know family members that haven't talked to a brother or sister for 30 years. One's in bad health and will probably die soon, but neither he nor the other brother will make an effort. They've both written each other off. And there's blame on both sides, although I take one side more. But these were two guys that were inseparable as kids. They got washed in a bucket in their parents' kitchen sink together. Now, neither one will make a move to improve things because they think they tried and the other one is too stubborn. They think they've done all they can and washed their hands of the relationship. They'll regret that when one of them is no longer around. 8. Trusting that voice in the back of my head more. Whether it's as simple as taking a job we weren't really thrilled about or as complex of being the victim of some crime, most of us have had the experience of a little voice in the back of our heads warning us that something was wrong here. A lot of times, we override that voice. We think that we know best. We use a matrix before taking that job and figure out a way to prove to ourselves that, analytically, this makes sense. Most of the time, we learn later that voice was dead right. 9. Not asking that girl. Nerves get the best of us, especially when we're young. We can forgive ourselves that we didn't screw up enough courage to ask that boy or girl out on a date or to the prom. But that doesn't mean that we still won't think about it decades later. Sometimes people regret seeing someone famous or well-known in real life and not going up to them and telling them how much they inspired them in our lives. It's the same underlying fear. We could have just said what we really felt at that moment. 10. Getting involved with the wrong group of friends when I was younger. We do dumb stuff when we're young. We're impressionable. We make friends with the wrong crowd, except we don't think there's anything wrong with them. They're our friends and maybe the only people we think that truly understand us. However, we can really get sidetracked by hooking up with this group. Sometimes it leads to drugs or serious crimes. We never start out thinking our choice of friends could lead us to such a difficult outcome. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.